Hey guys, Roberto here from the Real FIFA HD, back with episode 3 of our Tottenham Hotspur career mode. In this episode we're going to start off by going right away into a game, a Capital One Cup game. Apparently we got drawn in the first match against Manchester City, so we're going to go right into this game here. First we're just going to do a bit of team maintenance before the game, check our fitness and whatnot. Naughton is playing instead of Walker because Walker did get that red card in the last episode. So we're going to go right into the game here. And Manchester City are not going to be easy opponents, but we will try and make easy work of them. So, I thought it was kind of weird how we drew them in the first round of the Capital One Cup, while other BPL teams are drawing Empower League 2 and 1 teams. But, yeah, so here we go. We're going to go right into the game. And it does look like I do get a chance right off kickoff here, with Lennon running down the wing, passing it across to Sandro. He fake shots back inside, passes it down to Gareth Bale. Bale's doing a little bit of complete dribbling there on the outside, passes it back to Sandro, into Defoe. Defoe turns his defender, shoots, and just misses. That would have been a wonder start for us, but not to be. And as you can see here, Yaya Toure does get injured, I think, in the 12th or 13th minute, and he is forced to leave the game. Gareth Barry goes on for him. Now we move into the 25th minute with Aaron Lennon running down the wing, fake shotting back inside, and passing it back down to Sandro, over to Bale. Bale takes a shot, takes a deflection. Hart makes a nice save to keep it out, and Manchester City have no trouble clearing that out of his zone. Then we have Agger here, passing it over to Defoe. Defoe running down the wing, shooting one in the 45th minute, and going out for a corner. Bale taking the corner. Vertonghen there with a header right into the corner, and we are beating Manchester City 1-0 with a 45th minute goal by Jan Vertonghen off a nice corner by Gareth Bale. I was really surprised this goal went in because I really didn't think Vertonghen was going to get that, because you see Lescott was right in front of him, but Lescott kind of moved away as Vertonghen was able to steer it into the corner of the net. And here we have a little bit of Manchester City chance before halftime. Micah Richards trying to do a little bit of dipsy-doos with, he's going back and forth and whatnot, but he passes over to Nasri, and Nasri over to Carlos Tevez. Tevez doing a little bit of work over to David Silva, and David Silva will keep doing his little dribbling that he's so good at, and he'll pass it down to Sinclair, and he will lose it, and we will recover, and we will take it to halftime with a 1-0 lead against Manchester City, which is huge, because Manchester City is a powerhouse, and we want to be able to take them out this early in the Capital One Cup. That would be horrendous for Manchester City, but it would be good for us. And as you can see here, they do make a substitution. They do bring in Javi Garcia for James Milner, and nothing else really happened until the 60th minute, where it wasn't really a highlight. I just kind of brought on subs. Adebayor for Defoe, and I believe it was the normal Dempsey for Sigurdsson and Dembele for Sandro. But here, this is the end of the game. There was literally no highlights in the second half that I could show, because they were all just bad highlights. But we did kick out Manchester City out of the Capital One Cup in the first round, so that is very good for us, but very bad for Manchester City. As you can see, all these Liverpool actually did get drawn against Arsenal, so I guess it wasn't that bad. But Kyle Walker's suspension is over, so we will indeed put him into the lineup in right back instead of Naughton. Naughton did play good, but I would much rather have Walker over Naughton. So, and now we're going to go into our second game of the episode, which is going to be a really good game. Actually, before that, we're going to go into the transfer deadline. I did speed this up because I did end up looking at some players, but I never really ended up buying anyone, so I just sped it up. I was kind of looking for young players that were within my transfer budget, because I did only have 70,000 wage and 7 million transfer budget. So I was kind of looking for young players. I really didn't end up buying anyone, because I felt like I had all the young guys I needed in my reserves, or out on loan, or in my subs. I did think about getting Suso. I looked at Leandro at 5-star skills, and Victor Fisher. I was actually going to buy Piazon, but he is on loan at Malaga. And as you can see here, there's nothing I did here. We did send out a couple of players on loan, and we do actually end up letting the legend Ezekiel Friars out on loan to, I believe, Portsmouth. Yeah, as you can see there, and you get an email telling us he is indeed out on loan. And Manchester City bought Falcao for $78.5 million. So big money for Atletico Madrid now. So I would imagine they would be doing good, and I would expect them to be getting high up in the Champions League. And transfer day ends with a total amount spent of $137 million. Most of that, over half of that, coming from that Falcao deal. And now we're going to simulate ahead to the next game. And before that, we see that Kabul is indeed back from injury. So he is available to play, but he does have that little band-aid, so I decided not to put him in yet. And I don't think I put him into the substitutes for the Norwich game either. But I don't want to risk him getting injured again. I'd much rather just keep him until he has no more band-aid. And I do look at Tom Carroll a bit here. I was wondering why I put him on the loan list, but he did not end up going out on loan. So I was a little bit saddened with that because I did want him to get good. So I might have to play him in a couple of games now. And I do actually end up buying a scout here because I did forget to buy one. I wanted to get that Canadian guy, but I didn't have the money. So I ended up going with James Randall. Yeah, that's his name. And then here I send him out to Brazil, because when I do career modes, when I send them out to Brazil, they tend to get good. He tends to find good prospects. So I accidentally almost recalled the scout there, but I didn't actually end up recalling him. And I think now we're finally going to go into our Norwich game. And yes, we are. But before that, I do look at the team management a bit, just looking at everyone's fitness, seeing if everyone is good to go. And I do end up taking out. I was going to take out Clem Dempsey for Kabul because I thought Kabul's band-aid would be gone, but it was not. So I kept him out in the reserves just so he can get better and no more band-aids. So here we go. We're going to go into our game against Norwich, which is a really good game. I do get an amazing goal in this game, so this is probably going to be, you're probably going to see that from the title of the video. So here we go, Norwich, which we really shouldn't be losing any points to. And yeah, let's go. So we go into the 8th minute, almost the 9th minute. And there you have a goal kick, and Agger's going to header that back out because he's so good at doing that. Welbeck's going to pass it into Defoe. Defoe's going to go pass it back to Welbeck. Welbeck's going to run it down. He's going to fire one into the near post, and that's going to go into the back of the net for a 10th minute goal for Danny Welbeck, who's been virtually scoring all the goals for this team. I'm so happy he's been doing well after we signed him. He really has been doing good. And I believe that is his 4th BPL goal. So that is, he's up there for the lead. And here in the 39th minute, Defoe gets the ball. He's going to do a little bit of work in the box, pass it across. Welbeck scores once again. That should be his 5th league goal of the season. Does a little bit of a slide into the crowd. And I wasn't intending to pass that ball with Defoe over to Welbeck. I wanted to get it to Gilfeeder so he can have a little tap in, but it did end up going to Welbeck, but it did end up going in. And here in the 42nd minute, they try to clear it, but we get out to Lennon, over to Bale, and Bale is going to pass it into Welbeck. And Welbeck is a breakaway, and Norwich's defense is not going to keep up with him. And Welbeck's going to slot it in for his hat-trick within 44 minutes. And he's doing the "Can You Hear Me Now" celebration. And so that's a hat-trick for Welbeck, which should be his 6th goal of the season, which is really good for Danny Welbeck. He's really going to progress good if we keep playing him and he keeps scoring all these goals. So now it is 3-0. We go into halftime with that 3-0 lead, and that is very good for us because we most likely will not be losing that lead, and we will leave here with 3 points. But they do get a goal back here. Vertonghen tries to block the goal, but he does actually end up putting it into his net. It doesn't count as an own goal, but it is a deflection of Vertonghen. So, and here we're going to go do some subs. Defoe for Adebayor. I believe Holby does end up going for Bale because I didn't really see Bale doing much. I did end up putting Dembele for Sandro. Not Alex Sandro, but Sandro. And the ball does end up going up, so I'm just going to show you guys me doing the substitutions. And it is I think it was a triple. No, I don't think I ended up putting in Dembele. So actually it was only a double substitution. So, as you can see, we're going to stare at the referee for 10 minutes, and we move into the 67th minute. Here is the fantastic goal. We get a free kick from 35 yards out. I'm gonna change it to Sigurdsson because he has really good free kicking stats. I really didn't expect to score this, but he does curl it in, and Paul Ruddy does smack it into his own net. So that is a 35-yard out free kick goal for Gilfie in the 68th minute, and that'll give us a 4-1 lead in the game. I really don't know why Paul Riley couldn't save this, but he was there, but he did not smack it into his own net. So I will take that any day of the week for a 4-1 lead. And Adebayor here in the 74th minute, doing a fake shot, going down 1-1, and it's 5-1. Norwich getting completely embarrassed here. But we are playing in White Hart Lane, so I guess if this was in Norwich's stadium, it would be kind of sad. But we are in White Hart Lane, we want to make our fans happy, so 5-1 lead here. And now we're going to go ahead to the 84th minute. We get a corner. They header it out. Sigurdsson heads it back in. Vertonghen takes a shot, takes a deflection over to Adebayor, and it is 6-1. Adebayor picks up 2 goals already. He's only been in the game for approximately 20 in-game minutes. So it's really good for Adebayor. As you can see here, a bit of a fluky bounce, and Adebayor has an empty net to header it in. Now we get to the 90th minute. They try to clear it. And Turner tries to turn with the ball, but Adebayor takes it. He's going to flick it ahead with the right stick, and he's going to get tripped by Basong. And that is going to be a penalty for Adebayor for the hat-trick as a substitute. Could we have 2 hat-tricks in one game with 2 different players? Adebayor, Paul Ruddy saves it once again, but it goes into the back of the net anyway. And that is Adebayor's hat-trick in the 90th minute. And it is 7-1 for Tottenham. Norwich completely embarrassed. And I think that does it for the highlights in this game. As Norwich do just end, and Norwich do lose 7-1. Really embarrassing. I was stopping for a second to check if I really was on world class, and indeed I was. So we did actually end up winning 7-1. But I was really surprised with that scoreline. I didn't expect to win, and I didn't expect to beat any team by that big of a scoreline. But we did beat Norwich 7-1. And that will be it for this episode, guys. Remember, if you want to see more Tottenham Hotspur Cream, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.